Okay guys, we're back. This is gonna be part 2 of the Volvo rebuild. So, got some stuff today. Went to Harbor Freight, 30% off coupon for $10 and under. So I got this large organizer to put valve springs, keepers, everything in there, labeled. Engine brush set, clean the head up with after you're done cleaning it. Just got a center punch, magnetic rail holder for my screwdrivers. Quin scraper for scraping the surfaces for gaskets. Got some stuff from Rock Auto delivered today. Thermostat seal, oil filter, the PCV hose that I broke, which was like 12 bucks. I don't even think I could get it at the junkyard for that cheap, so I just bought one brand new. And here are all the exhaust valves. Here's a used one that I took out, and it looks pretty good still. But I decided to go with all new ones. 80 bucks, brand new. Here is the part number for the exhaust valves on this. I don't know if you guys see that one that good. There we go. 9454610. Pro Parts Sweden. These are sodium filled, so they're non-magnetic up top, and then it changes up here. So same ones here. So 10 new exhaust valves. I checked the dimensions; they're all the same. So I'm waiting on the gasket kit for the head. I did go to the machine shop up in Stafford and talked to the guys. They said about a week turnaround time. So that's not too bad. I was waiting on the parts. I am still waiting on the valve seals, the seals that go down around the valve. But I am going to remove the valves and lap the new ones in. I have got this Lyle valve keeper removal tool. It's spring loaded and magnetic. Part number 36200. And I'll show you how this kind of works, but I got all my buckets removed and labeled. Intake with the clearance spec, exhaust with the specs. Put them in this egg crate with tie wire so they don't go flying around if I had to transport it. So that's how these are labeled, okay? So yeah, I'm gonna get the rest of these valves removed, clean the head up a little bit more, and then lap the new valves in. Here is the broken exhaust valve. I mean, it's almost all the way, it is back to the stem for the most part. Absolutely burnt and broken. I am debating on whether to remove the downpipe to get the broken piece out that's probably sitting in front of the cat, just because I don't want to damage the turbo. Removing the turbo on this vehicle is a bigger job than this entire job that I'm doing here. So it's an absolute pain. There's 4 bolts on the downpipe. One of them is a pain. That's underneath here. This one here. I don't have a 6-point wrench, and that's the only one that will fit on these. It's a 6-point 10 mil wrench. I have 12-point wrenches. I can't get a socket on these. I don't want to round it out, because once it's rounded out, there's no turning back other than to cut it off, which sounds way like there's just no room with the heat shield down there and everything. So I found some Facebook finds off Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace finds, 1/4 inch with the battery and charger, 3/8 long ratchet, solid, no flex head on this. I picked up this purple set of Max screwdrivers and the short micro screwdrivers from Snap-on and High-Vis. All that for super cheap. And I might sell this ratchet just because I have the Milwaukee, keep the battery. and charger, and if I find a long reach electric ratchet from Snap-on, then I'll buy that one if I can find one on sale, just because I have the Milwaukee, and this one is non-brushless. So, but I had to buy this. He wouldn't let the other stuff go without buying this. So, but for the price, I couldn't beat it. It works fine, works great. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna get to work, and yeah. Okay, guys. So I got all the exhaust valves out. Okay, all over here. Here's kind of how I have everything labeled in this tackle box. Exhaust, intake, kind of how you're looking at it from the front of the car. Exhaust cam, intake cam, cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Valve A is closest to the cam gear, and valve B is further away. Kind of have it labeled out just like that. Exhaust here, and intake this part. So yeah, I'll show you guys here how we kind of remove with the valves with this Lyle tool. There's a magnetic piece inside. So okay, now you can, if you're lucky, you might get it by pressing on it, but just a kind of a heavy weight hammer. Don't get your finger caught on the corner of the cam journal here, because I sliced my finger. So just kind of hold it just like this. Okay. There you go. You'll feel it kind of pop. Okay. And the spring cap and the keepers are inside. Okay. Just like that. There are the keepers. Just take a magnet, kind of fish it in there. Okay. Just like that. And then you can pull your valve spring out just like that. And then you can just push out the valve. You might have to get something soft to kind of knock it out. It's probably a little bit stuck. But I'm gonna go down the line, take all of them out, and I'm gonna label them. Probably actually label them before I take them out with a paint marker on the bottom side, so that way I don't get them mixed up. So let me do that and put you guys on time lapse. Okay guys, so pretty much here's what I've been doing to clean these off. After getting the keepers and the keeper retainers out, you guys, I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's quite a bit of sludge and just hard oil that's built up on a lot of these valve train components. So, and this is the intake side. So, I am replacing all the valve seals throughout the whole head, intake included. The car has 200,000 on it, and I have kept up with the oil changes at 5,000 miles, Mobil 1 full synthetic with a new filter, but it's got 200K on it, and it needs cleaned up, and this is just kind of going to happen over time. So kind of what I'm doing here is just wiping off the outside of the valve, the spring here, and there's a ton of stuff that comes off of it. I am gonna get some diesel fuel and clean these up better with a brush and a nylon brush and some of that fluid. But I'm cleaning everything out on the inside, just getting the heavy stuff off. No, a lot of you guys' cars might not be as bad as this, but like I said, this has 200,000 on it, so I'm kind of just wiping in between all the springs, and it's not bad, but it's not good. Like, there's still some buildup of dried hard oil in there. I'm just getting the heavy stuff out. Like I said, the gasket kit comes with new valve seals, so getting those out is kind of a pain, but I'll show you guys how I do that. So yeah, I'm kind of wiping all that off, and then this is 5B. Same thing with the retainer. It's old oil, you know, so I'm kind of wiping that off as best I can. And it comes off pretty easy for the most part. Now I'll take a pick and kind of get in the corner where the spring rides at, and just kind of clean up that surface in the groove there. Nothing crazy, just knock the heavy stuff off, and then I'll get down inside where the keepers go. Just kind of give that a pass over just to see if there's any heavy stuff. Kind of clean that out, and then I just got a little Scotch-Brite pad, and I will just kind of, I do this with bolts on my motorcycle, make them look new. There you go, just like that. I'll kind of give the bottom, I'll get the edges a little bit. Okay, a lot of it's off now. I'll just blow it off with compressed air. Just like this. A little hole, my little cardboard box from Cassie's slippers. Bam. I'll go A, B, 5. Intake. Okay, so the best way to go about removing the old valve stems, they are going to be sacrificial if you are removing a head with this kind of miles. I definitely suggest replacing them. They're cheap, but you're gonna squeeze them this way, and then you're gonna go back and squeeze them this way. You're kind of gonna make them. You're gonna make them kind of like a square. Okay, so I'm going to squeeze it this way, let go, turn it 90, and then squeeze it, and then they'll kind of wiggle right out. Kind of just like this. Let's see here, I'll do this one here. It's kind of going to take both hands, but kind of squeezing. There. You may have to go back and forth a couple times, and then I kind of just get it broke free a little bit, and then just pull it right out. Just like that. I should make Cassie help me. Once you kind of get it broke free from wiggling it, they'll pull right out. But with a bunch of oil on these, and it's just, these things are beyond toast. I mean, there you go. You'll get quicker at it. The first couple are definitely rough. You know, you'll slip, and just get a good pair of needle nose. The Pittsburgh ones will work, But the Quinn ones, spend the $3 extra on the Quinn and just get those. The grip and they're just a lot thicker material. So they're just best for these. Each head's going to be a little bit different, but I already got that one. Try not to score up where the buckets go either, like crazy, you know? Like I said, you'll get quicker at it too. I do believe the exhaust and the intake seals are identical. Okay, that's all the intake. Let's move to the exhaust. All right, you guys get the point. Okay, guys, so actually there are spring seats down in there. Okay, they go just like this. You sit down, so the spring can. So this was 5B on exhaust. So the last one. So it goes just like that. You can't get them confused on this engine with the keeper retainer. Goes just like that. Small one goes on top, big one goes on the bottom. Just like that. Okay, we're back. Got our new valves over here. Okay. I've already lapped. I've already lapped 4 of them in. Okay. Got Cassie behind the camera. Show yourself. Show them your car.
No, my sad car.
Okay. All right, so I got these valve lapping tools here.
Those are cool.
All right. Valve grinding compound from Permatex 80036. Now, I'm gonna keep the old valve seats.
Your GoPro died.
Oh, it did?
Oh no, it didn't.
Oh,
it
yeah,
just shut off.
All right, I'm gonna keep the old valve seats. Show them the valve seats. You get a flashlight. Okay, they're real dull. All right, you might need to do a second pass on them, but this is how you pretty much do it. I'm gonna take a new valve. All right, gonna wipe it off. Okay, so it sticks a little bit better. I'm gonna take a little bit of valve grinding compound. Gonna put right, get close up. Just like that. You don't need too much. Okay. Everywhere on the. Okay, now I took a little brush and cleaned out the stem here. Some WD-40, just got all the heavy carbon off. All right, picked that up at Harbor Freight. So we're on, what are we on, 3A on the exhaust side. Okay, just drop it in. Feeling it stick a little bit, so. Gonna blow it out with some air. Okay. Just go right in. Okay. Stick this on. Now you'll hear it change. You'll kind of feel it too.
Sound is terrible.
Get a close up so the camera can hear. You hear that? Sound changed?
Oh yeah.
You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
So you pick it up, move it 90. Spend about probably 5 to 7 minutes per valve. I'll probably go back through and do this again. But for a first pass to kind of evaluate the seat. Pull it out.
You do that with all of them?
All of them.
Nice.
Take a look. Okay, we're back. About a week later. Took a break. Just been waiting on parts. Going back through and relapping all the valves. This time I'm using a drill and a piece of vacuum line that I had laying around. There is some controversy over doing it this method, but I'm just doing it as a secondary measure, I guess you could say. I'm not sitting on the valve forever, so it shouldn't take too much of the seat or valve away. So it is a much faster process, but I did go through, as you saw, by hand and lap them all regularly. So here's just kind of how I'm kind of doing it. Okay, guys, so another good way to test the sealing the valve guides. Just a quick test. Basically, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your valve. So start here with 5B. Make sure that the stem is clean from all of the lapping compound. Get another clean rag. You're gonna go through a lot of these, but just wipe everything off the stem, because usually the guides are bronze and they'll deform and scratch really easily, especially with this lapping compound. So you don't want to damage the guides if you can avoid it. So I'm gonna put it in just like you would when you lap it, and you can check these before you lap it too, which I did. If I can get it in there, you may have to blow out these with compressed air to get some of the carbon and crud out of it. So you're just gonna give it a wiggle test. Now there will be a little bit of play in this, so don't be too concerned if you have a tiny bit of play. You're gonna have some, but you shouldn't be able to really see it move a lot. Like you should just be able to feel it, a little bit of play. So basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your finger over the top of the valve, the stem there. You kind of see it moving up, and you'll hear it pop. I'm gonna put my finger on it. You'll feel some suction, and it should make a popping noise when you pull it out quick. So I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it on camera, but it should sound like this. You may have to tip it to get a good angle on it. But it should sound something like this, like that. If it doesn't pop, no good. Just like that. You guys should have definitely been able to hear that. Okay, so to check for flatness on your cylinder head, the mating surface where the head gasket goes, obviously you're going to want it cleaned off really good. I've cleaned this off probably 3 or 4 times now with brushes, different grades of Scotch-Brite, no power tools. Now you're going to want a straight edge. I ordered this one off of Amazon, 24 inches long. It was like 25 bucks. Okay, keep it stored in a nice spot. It's got nice protective ends on it in multiple different spots. So here, maybe 4 or 5 different spots going this way. angled, all kinds of, then going this way across each, in between each cylinder. Check those. So you're going to need a good feeler gauge. This is straight. The description said it's straight within 0.0003 inches. So that's 0.003 of an inch. But comment said people have checked on surface plates and it was within 0.00006 inches. So multiple reviews said that. So I have a 0.002 inch feeler gauge, which is also 0.05 millimeters. And I was doing some research. You guys do your own, check your manuals, whatever. But if it's within 0.003 inches, then it should be good enough for a gasket, especially the multi-MLS type gaskets, from what I was reading. This save yourself a lot of money and time at the machine shop. So basically, that you're not going underneath where a bolt hole or a water jacket or an oil galley is, because the radiuses are curved, so it will kind of slip under there. Like it, I mean, even there it won't, but if it's slightly on its edge, it will slide underneath it. So just make sure of that. So here's kind of the important parts, right in between the cylinders. Should be good there. Okay, move back here, right? Kind of checking everywhere. And I also did a 0.0015, which also didn't fit in 99% of the spots. So make sure your feeler gauges are clean. Wipe them off every time. Just like that. So yep, these are good. Okay guys, we're back. Ran to Walmart, had to get some stuff, got a new shop vac. So we're starting to measure the clearances for all the valves. Basically, I got oiled all the journals lightly. I put all the buckets in. My setup, basically, I got a little cross ball underneath to hold the valve in place. And you can use a tennis ball, whatever. I just have a lot of lacrosse balls. Block of wood just to kind of keep it level. And I'm just going down the line, one by one, measuring the valves. So basically, because the seats got worn a little bit, you basically have to, the height of the valve gets lengthened inside the cylinder head. Well, the valve doesn't change length, right? But the seat gets worn, so the valve gets pushed further up into the head, and your clearances between the cam lobe and the buckets or lifters cannot need to be adjusted. Now on the Volvos, I know on my previous Audi they were hydraulic lifters, and basically there was oil got inside of them, and it kind of raised the height of the bucket itself. I'll show you guys in a minute once I switch over to the intake, but these have no adjustment inside the buckets. They have different thicknesses. Now, here's kind of a spreadsheet I got going here, but here are the part numbers for all of the buckets. You can buy, I have a link here, you can buy a whole bucket kit from Volvo direct. This is usparts.volvocars.com. Here's pretty much all the tappets, is what they call them. You can buy the kit for, let me see here. It looks like each bucket's about $31, $261 for the entire kit. Now, if your buckets are too far out of spec, like mine are, the smallest one available, which is I think a 15.98, 15.96, will not even bring it back into spec still. Let me type in 15.94. Oh, they do have a 9.4. About a 6.93, 9.2. 15.92. 15.90. 15.8. 15.86 is available, but even that size, I don't think will bring my stuff back into spec, especially at the cost of $31 each. So anyway, I'm gonna measure out the clearances. What feeler gauge will fit? I already did one, and I'll show you guys. This is the smallest one that fits. Okay, it kind of fits pretty smooth like this. I'm not forcing it. I'm just kind of pushing it in. Now, if I bump up to a 0.28 mil feeler. Okay, bought this feeler gauge at Harbor Freight for like $4. Not on sale. It doesn't really want to go. I mean, I could do it, but it's gonna it has a lot of drag to it, which that is probably still fine. But I like the feel of the 2.5 better. It just kind of goes in a lot smoother. The little crossball just helps kind of keep the valve pushed up in to the lifter, because now I don't have springs or anything in here. The valve will just fall out. So basically, I made this little spreadsheet in Excel. Super easy. I got my parts log here. I'll share that once the build is done. But basically, cylinder number 1A, 1B, those are your valves. Intake valve with the clearance. Exhaust valve with the clearance. And intake bucket number, part number, and the thickness, which is written on the inside of the bucket. Okay, I already wrote these down. And this is marked inside the bucket. You may have to scrape off some of the sludge or oil on the inside, but they are labeled. So I'm just kind of writing these down and kind of writing some notes. 0.25 was a good fit, but 0.28 was still tight, but it still did fit. Grab a beer, coffee, whatever, throw some music on, and just kind of take your time and go down the line and just, don't be distracted. Another thing too is make sure all of this is at room temperature, because aluminum has a very high coefficient of thermal expansion, so it will expand and contract very easily with temperatures. So everything needs to be the same temperature. It is a little chilly. It's probably 40 degrees at best right now, and everything's been sitting out here in the garage, the whole time. So everything's the same temperature. I just got some oil coated on the journals just so it kind of rotates freely. When you're checking these, you want the lobes to be directly perpendicular from the bucket. See that? So cylinder 1 is going to be like that. Going to go down. Going to rotate it. Cylinder 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going to go about showing you how to do the last 2 here. I'm on cylinder 4, valve A. Okay, got the lobes rotated about 180 degrees from the bucket. I got my ball under there and a piece of wood just to kind of balance it. 0.2. Yeah, you guys can see that. 0.2 millimeters, 0.008 inches. which is middle of the spec. 0.20 on the intake, plus or minus 0.03 millimeters, and 0.4 for the exhaust, plus or minus 0.03 millimeters. So I got right there in the middle of the spec feeler, and you can just kind of, I'm not forcing it, I'm just lightly pushing it, and there's no popping, or I'm not forcing it really in there. I'm just kind of pushing it lightly, and it's sliding in there perfect. So make sure your lobes are clean here where you're taking the reading at. Like this car had about 200,000 on it, and the sludge buildup was getting pretty bad on this. It wasn't hateful, but it was throwing the reading off. So I just took some Scotch-Brite, cleaned it up, blew it off with compressed air, cleaned it off, and actually everything's reading pretty good. When I initially took the readings, all the specs were showing pretty tight. So I was a little worried. I cleaned up the lobes, and everything seems to be within working order. Like here, you can see there's still some hard oil bits, here. Take a pick. It's actually, this stuff is pretty hard actually, but for the most part, I got most of it cleaned up. You can see kind of on the edges here. See that? But that's not where we're taking the reading. Okay guys, so change of plans. Actually, talked to my dad, and pretty much I'm not going to mail him the valves to trim off the ends of the stems on the exhaust valves. I am just going to grind them down with a piece of sandpaper, 120 grit, this little flap wheel, kind of just abrasive disc, with a combination of this grinding stone here on the bench grinder. I'm gonna bolt it up too so it's more steady, but basically measured each one and did a formula to put everything back into spec, which right in the middle, which is 0.4 minus the measured value, and that's how much I have to take off in millimeters. And then I did a conversion here to change it from millimeters to inches, so I could measure it with my calipers that are non-digital. So basically, this is how much I have to take off. I'll measure it before and after, just like this, same spot every time. Okay guys, it's Sunday, closed up last night, kind of figured out my own system here, how I'm gonna do this. I got the bench grinder, just held on with the C-clamp here. Held on pretty sturdy. I got this grinding wheel. So I'm gonna keep the flakes and the grinding stuff away from the clearance, the fitment table, I guess, over here. Got my feeler gauge ready to go, 0.4. Got my valves, and I'm just gonna go down the line here and just periodically take a little bit off each one. That's just how I think the best way of doing this is gonna be. I know I'm gonna get some flack for this, because it's not how they would do it in the machine shop on the valve grinder. I know they make a couple machines. I think Quickway is the name of the machine or the manufacturer that does this. But basically, I guess a belt sander would be the best way to do it. I'm just kind of gonna do it on the side just like this, so it's at least on somewhat of a flat surface. I'll show you guys this process that I kind of got going on here. Got my safety glasses. I got the last two valves, got all of them done. 5A, all right. I like to give the cams a quick rotation before I switch valves, just to kind of get the oil dispersed evenly. I think, now I'm almost certain these are coated with stellite, I do believe. You guys can kind of see that. I don't know if that's part of the grinding wheel. So yeah, that's some type of coating, I think, which probably isn't the best to remove it. But I don't really have another way of doing this. So it should be fine. Other people do it this way too. This is the way the machine shop guy told me he does the valves too. So we're gonna roll with it and keep on going. Kind of doing it. Just take the edge off of it a little bit. Constantly moving the valve so it doesn't get worn in one spot. Wipe off any pieces of metal. Wipe off the feeler. Okay guys, so that's gonna be the end of this video. Cylinder head prep work, I guess you could say. Everything's ready to go back together. We're just waiting on the gasket kit. Then we'll be able to throw the valve stem seals in, pop the springs in, valves in, everything. We'll check clearances one more time. After that, I'm hoping the gasket kit is here by Wednesday. And then by Friday night, we'll be able to start reassembling this. And we can get this thing back on the road. We are supposed to get a ton of snow, 9 inches tonight. So I don't know if you guys can see, but my breath is showing. Doesn't really bother me too much. I'm used to the cold. But like I said, it's important that you check everything that's at the same temperature. You don't want the stuff to get expanded or contract too much, then you'll get different readings, etc. Just keep that in mind, guys. Take your time with this, throw some music on, like I said, and just kind of have fun with it, you know? The way I did it is kind of unorthodox, but you gotta work with what you're given. And, you know, this is just kind of a budget rebuild. It's not my race car, you know, or my dirt bike, which is super high compression, you know? Just trying to save as much money as I can, where I can, and we made it work, and hopefully all goes well when I get it back together. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.